Did you know that Paul's letters are not in chronological order? They are in the order of length, from longest to shortest. But what if we read them in the order he wrote them? Something pretty amazing happens. Across 20 years of ministry, of dungeons and shipwreck and old age, the way he refers to himself changes. In his first letter, in Galatians, Paul calls himself an apostle. 7 years later, in 1 Corinthians, he says, "For I am the least of the apostles." Still an apostle, but now he's the least. 5 years later, in Ephesians, he says, "I am less than the least of all the Lord's people." So he's not comparing himself to apostles anymore. He calls himself the least of all believers. And then, at the end of his life, in 1 Timothy, he writes, "Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am the worst." He's no longer comparing himself to apostles or saints. He says he is a sinner, and he's the worst of them. You see the progression, or digression, or spiritual progression? The longer Paul walked with Christ, the smaller he became, and Christ became bigger. We think Christian maturity means having your act together, having strong testimonies or polished prayers, confident posture, but Paul tells us the opposite, that the saints are not the ones who finally stop struggling. They are the ones who finally stop pretending. The closer you get to Christ, the smaller you will feel, and the larger he is going to become.